Oh my god, it's attacking the city! What is it, boss? It's a big fucking monster! What kind of monster, boss? A fucking gorilla!
Hello, we're doing a movie review. I'm Christian, and this is my friend Jeremy.
Hey everyone.
And the movie we want to review is Son of Kong, which is a sequel to the 1933 classic King Kong, and this movie actually came out the same year. Now, what do you think of Son of Kong?
Well, it's certainly a lot goofier than its predecessor, and it was a very rushed production, and I'd say that definitely shows.
I agree, yeah. It's one that, I'll admit, I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be, but one thing I mentioned when reviewing the first one is the first one moves at such a brisk pace. The first movie was longer. This movie feels longer than the first movie, yet this is only a little more than an hour long.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, the pacing in this movie is all kinds of fucked up, whereas in the first movie the pacing was so brisk.
Yeah, the first one definitely moved a lot faster than this one. I mean, in this one, Little Kong doesn't even show up until, I'd say, about 40 minutes into the movie. Oh yeah, it takes a while to get there.
Now, to be fair, though, one of the things I do like about this movie is it tries to be a little bit of a character drama with Carl Denham's character, and it does try to show you the aftermath of what he did.
Yeah, I like that too. I like how it does show you what the effect is of having this gigantic monkey rampage through the city. I mean, you know, there was a lot of horrible destruction, and of course, he's the one who gets slapped with all the lawsuits because he brought the damn thing here, you know?
Now, Son of Kong was directed by Ernest B. Schoedsack or Schoedsack. I have no idea how to say his last name, but he was also the co-director of the first movie. The movie was also written by Ruth, who was the co-writer of the first movie. Now, the plot of Son of Kong is it takes place about a month after the events of the first film. Carl Denham is flat broke and is facing multiple lawsuits because of what King Kong did, and it turns out that Captain Eaglehorn is also having a hard time. So Denham, Eaglehorn, and Charlie the cook quickly leave the country and go to somewhere in Asia. There they see this cheap little show run by this former big shot showman and his daughter Hilda. Later on, Hilda's father gets into a fight with a drinking buddy of his who accidentally kills him. Hilda knows that it was him who murdered her father, but she can't prove anything. This guy who murdered Hilda's father is a Norwegian skipper named Hellstrom, who turns out to be the same man who gave Denham the map to Skull Island before the events of the first movie. Hellstrom ends up meeting up with Denham and Eaglehorn, and it turns out that he wants to get as far away from there as possible, but right off the bat you could tell that Eaglehorn does not trust Hellstrom at all, but they end up taking him on their ship, and Hilda ends up stowing away on the ship. Eventually they head back to Skull Island, and due to a series of circumstances that are mostly Hellstrom's fault, our heroes end up getting kicked off their own ship and stranded on the island. Eventually Denham and Hilda meet a giant gorilla who is assumed to be the son of King Kong. Now, in the film, Robert Armstrong reprises his role as Carl Denham, Frank Reicher reprises his role as Captain Eaglehorn, Victor Wong reprises his role as Charlie the cook, and actually does have a bigger part to play this time around. Helen Mack plays the character of Hilda Peterson, and John Marston plays Hellstrom. So, what do you think of the acting and the characters in Son of Kong?
I think it's pretty good. You know, you have Robert Armstrong back as Carl Denham, you have Frank Reicher back as Captain Englehorn, and you've got some new faces who I think do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the new female lead, she's pretty good in the movie, I would say.
Yeah, and the guy who plays the main villain, I think he's deliciously, you know, seedy and evil.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's such a douchebag in this movie.
He's delightfully treacherous.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the relationship between Carl Denham and Hilda?
I thought it was very sweet. You know,
yeah.
She takes a liking to him, and, you know, he's, I think, a little reluctant at first, but ultimately his love shines through, too.
Yeah. It is actually kind of adorable.
Yeah.
Now I want to cut to a short review on this film recorded by my friend Christian Feliciano, and I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below.
So, Son of Kong, or as he is called in the film, Little Kong. Now I don't want to be childish, but damn. RKO definitely knew what they were doing with their name. Anyway, yes, Son of Kong, the sequel to King Kong. I'm sure back then they must have thought, holy shit, Kong did good. Let's make another one. But I'll be damned if they didn't release it in the same year. Could you imagine if we did this kind of stuff today? We wouldn't have to wait for anything. Avengers 4 coming out next year? Haha, bitch, nope. Avengers 7. Now, this is honestly the last of the Kong films I saw. I didn't even know it existed until after I saw Kong Skull Island, and that was only because I was looking up what year the first one came out so I can reference it in a piece I was writing. And right as I was looking, I saw Son of Kong and thought I should check it out. And I am not sorry that I did. I love this film. It's not the best of the series, I'll say that right now. And I think that when it comes to movie characters having sons, Son of Godzilla is the better film. But I absolutely enjoy this movie. It picks up a little after the first one, where our favorite filmmaker ends up going back to Skull Island and meeting Little Kong. An adventure ensues. It's a little silly, I get it. I mean, how did Kong have Little Kong when he had nobody to introduce his Little Kong to? I guess we'll never really know. But it happened, and I just went along with it because the rest of the film is so much fun. You get creature fights just like the first one. You get good acting, good directing, a good story, good characters, especially Little Kong. He is a really, really good character. In the first one, his father, Big Kong, did some heroic things, but ultimately he was a monster. In this one, it's pretty obvious that Kong Jr. is a hero and makes you really feel for him, especially in the end. No spoilers, but the ending is pretty great, the way that Little Kong lives up to half of what Kong Sr. was. Overall, this is a great film. I recommend you check it out if you haven't seen it. If you have, check it out again. Why not? Get yourself hyped up for the upcoming kaiju features that are coming soon by watching the old ones. It always works for me.
So, what are your thoughts on this film overall?
It's a far cry from its predecessor, but, I don't think it's terrible. It's still fun in parts,
No, I would agree. I would say the biggest issue is it's just so slowly paced. It feels longer than it actually is. But it does, once again, I would say the fact that it tries to be a little bit of a character study with Carl Denham is good. I do like that. I will say the effects work when they get to Skull Island are actually pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're good too, although, I think they are a little more rushed than the effects in the original. They really took their time with the original stop motion. Here, they definitely did rush it a bit, but it still looks very good.
I think it really does look good, because you have that one scene where the Son of Kong accidentally cuts himself on his middle finger, by the way, and Carl Denham wraps it up. That effect actually still holds up pretty well, the way they composite that, because it's the middle finger of Kong, but it's still the stop motion thing, and the way they composite the shots is really well done, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And what do you think of the titular character, the Son of Kong?
Oh, he's just adorable, But, he's definitely a lot nicer than his father, that's for sure. And, I like how he sort of teams up with the human characters. It's very sweet and compassionate.
And actually, because I agree with you, he is pretty adorable, but that actually makes the ending really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It does leave the question, what about the mother? If that's supposed to be the Son of Kong, who the hell was the mother?
Yeah, I gotta admit, that's got my head scratching a bit.
But then again, Carl Denham does assume it's the Son of Kong. What if this is a whole species of giant gorilla? We only just saw the one.
Possible, I guess.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Our next movie review will be on King Kong vs. Godzilla. So stay tuned for that review, and catch you later.